Well, hello everyone. It's Chef Jazzy John. We are back today. So I've been getting requests from the library to make some desserts. So today we're going to start off with a nice homemade cheesecake. So as normal, let's get started. I already have all the ingredients pre-measured. So let's go down the ingredient list. So you will take 1.5 cups of graham crackers, which equals to 1 package and possibly 2 more crackers. So that's what I normally do. Then we take, and this is the graham crackers I use. You can use any brand you like, okay? And then you take 5 tablespoons of butter, softened or melted. And then we take 1/4 cup of sugar. And then we have fun. So you get all this mixed together. You're gonna have to use your hands and get a little messy. This works out so well though. So you just keep stirring it and stirring it until it all mixes together. And you just kind of keep stirring and stirring. So once you have it all mixed in, your butter, just make sure it's all done and mixed in together. You can even melt your butter a little bit more if you like. So then we take what's called a springform pan. This is a 9-inch springform pan. It actually comes loose and all that, if you know what a springform pan is. Okay, so then you pour all your graham cracker and the butter and the sugar into the pan. Now this part here takes a little bit of patience. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna show you the basics. So you take your measuring cup or a spoon, but the cup works best for me. And you start to spread it and distribute it into your springform pan. So you have to have a springform pan for a cheesecake because you have to be able to release the cheesecake out of the pan. So what we do is we just keep on, and you push it up to the sides, push the sides up. Now this does take about 10 minutes. So what I've done, I've already made one. Now remember that was chocolate graham cracker crust, but this is just regular golden graham cracker crust. So you make sure it's all leveled out and all, nice and even. And then you put it in the oven and you cook it for 8 minutes. You take it out and you set it aside. This one I've already cooked and everything for you guys, okay? So now once that's ready, you set that aside, and now it's time to prepare the cheesecake. So let's go down our ingredient list once again. So we have 4 8-ounce softened cream cheese. As a matter of fact, before you make your cheesecake, make sure you take your ingredients out. Your cream cheese, your eggs, and your sour cream. That's all part of it. So everything needs to be set out for at least a couple of hours. And if the cream cheese isn't quite soft enough, put it on a plate and put it in the microwave for maybe about 10-15 seconds. Just kind of keep checking it until it's pretty soft. So basically what we do, we have 4 8-ounce packages of cream cheese. We have 1 cup of sour cream. We have 1 cup of sugar. We have 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. And we have 2 teaspoons of natural lemon juice. And then we have 3 eggs, which has been sitting out for a while. So let's get started. So we take our 4, and you need a beater mechanism on your mixer. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just take this off so you can see. So we put in our 4 packages of cream cheese. That's 2, 3, and 4. And this has been softening for several hours, so it's really nice and room temperature. And you mix your 1 cup of sugar into the cream cheese. And then we put it in our mixer. And you're gonna mix this for about 2 minutes or until it's all really nice and incorporated on medium speed. I love a good homemade cheesecake, and you can add all type of different flavors to cheesecakes. This is going to be a traditional, what you would call New York style cheesecake. but you can add all type of flavorings. You can make it strawberry, you can make it sweet potato, you can make all types of cheesecakes. So, and like I said, with the crust, I use a traditional graham cracker crust, but the other one I'm going to do a chocolate crust. So once again, like I said, we're going to do this for a couple of minutes on a medium speed. Okay, so it's been doing that for a while. So now we're going to add in our cream cheese. 1 cup of cream cheese. For another couple of minutes. I just want to make sure that it's all blended together very, very well. You know, cheesecake is a nice, fluffy, wonderful dessert. I love it with some fresh strawberries on it, or some people like chocolate on it. So, okay, as it's beating for that, so now we're going to add in our teaspoon of vanilla. Also with a cheesecake, you don't want to overbeat it because then it won't be as fluffy. Okay, then we're going to add in our 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Sometimes you can actually even add in some lemon zest. But today we're going to skip that part. Right? Sometimes I'll just put an extra teaspoon of lemon juice in just to give that little tartness. Okay, so now we've been beating for about a couple of minutes. So now we're going to put in 1 egg at a time. Now if you're not comfortable with cracking your eggs over your mixer, you can crack it 1 time in a bowl and then pour it in. But once your eggs have set out and gotten room temperature, they usually crack. Once you crack them, they'll just fall right out. So, okay, we've got that. Okay. As you can hear, it's loosening up a little bit, which is just fine. So we have 1 more egg. So I'm going to crack this last egg in there. Okay. So once you crack the last egg, you just want to mix it until it's all blended together. And then we're going to turn our mixer off because we want to make sure that we don't put too much air in it. So now our batter is ready. You scrape it all off. Actually, a cheesecake is not a complicated recipe. It just takes a lot of prep. Just takes time and patience and love. Let's take this off and you can kind of take a look. You see it's looking nice and creamy. If you see any lumps, you can just kind of continue to do it with your spatula. But you definitely don't want to over mix it because then it's not going to be as fluffy. Your cheesecake will fall. Okay, so now what we do while that's sitting, I prepared what you have to have is what's called a water bath. So we're going to prepare a water bath and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so once we have everything mixed up, we have our pie crust prepared. So now it's time to put it in the oven, get it prepared, put it in the oven. So the first thing we have to do when you do any cheesecake, you have to cook it what's called a water bath. And what the water bath does is keep your cheesecake from cracking and things like that. So, and it helps you cook it like at a slower temperature. So you have to have boiling water. So this is my container that I use. And I use about 6 cups of boiling water. And before you even do all of that, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna put this over on the stove. I have my water boiling. So it kind of depends on what the size of your pan that you're gonna put the cheesecake in. Just make sure there's enough room that it has some space. So what we do is we prepare a couple sheets of aluminum foil. If you have some heavy duty foil, which I don't today, you take 2 sheets of foil because you want to make sure that nothing leaks into your cheesecake. So I put that under it, and so now I put all my cheesecake filling into the crust. So just take and pour it all in there. And once again, this is a 9-inch pan, spring form pan. So if you have to go purchase a pan, make sure it's a spring form pan. I'm going to tell you to get a decent quality pan. Don't buy the cheapest, buy at least a medium grade pan. And this pan, I bought this at Walmart for like $8, so You can probably get one that's maybe $12. You get one for $5, but I wouldn't recommend that one. I would recommend this one. So we make sure all the ingredients are in there. Okay. So there we go. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it. I'm gonna actually take my spatula. Wipe my hands. I'm gonna actually use my spatula and smooth it out. Hope you guys can see. I'm gonna smooth it out. Just make sure you can get as smooth as you possibly can. Because however you put it in there is basically how it stays. Now, if you're gonna put a topping or something on it, probably doesn't matter. But just try to make sure it's kind of smooth. So just kind of go around it and smooth it all out. And as far as the side crust, you can make it go up as high as you want to, or you can have it short if you would like. Okay, so now that's prepared. So then I take my piece of foil. You don't put it in the pan, but just make sure you put it all around the pan. Like I say, and this basically is to make sure to ensure that no moisture gets into your pan while it's cooking in the oven. So you're gonna put your oven on 350 degrees, and you're gonna cook this cheesecake for 1 hour. And then after 1 hour, you turn your oven off. Don't remove the cheesecake. Just turn your oven off, open the door, and let it sit for another hour. And then once it sits for another hour, you take it out and you sit on your counter and let it naturally cool off for about another 30 minutes. And then you put it in the refrigerator. So now it's all set. So now I'm gonna go over to my stove. Now I guess I can actually bring this over here to you. Okay, so I'm gonna pour in my boiling water. Remember the temperature is set at 350, so I'm gonna pour this into my pan. Just a nice roasting pan. Okay. So basically you need at least 1 inch of water up around your pan. So I'm gonna place my cheesecake in the middle and sit into the water, and it goes into the oven for 1 hour. Now, of course, you may want to do this a little closer to your stove. I'm just doing this so that you all can see. You can actually do it right on top of your stove. Okay, so now it's in the oven. So I'm gonna do some cleanup, and I will see you guys in a few minutes. So we are back. Our cheesecake is out of the refrigerator. So remember the steps. Cook it in a 350-degree oven in a water bath of at least 1 to 2 inches of water, because the water is going to evaporate. So cook it there for 1 hour. Turn your oven off. Leave the door open on your oven for 1 hour. Leave your cheesecake in the oven for that 1 hour, just cooling so that the water can cool off. Then take it and on the counter, you're gonna cook it uncovered, and then on the counter, keep it uncovered for about another 45 minutes. And then we're gonna refrigerate it for at least 3 to 4 hours, covered. So we've done all of that. So when you take it out, you're gonna take a knife, a butter knife or a different knife, and you're gonna go around the edges. By then, the edges should have loosened from the springform pan. So we're just gonna go around it like that, just to make sure it's all nice and loose. And then on the springform pan, you know, there's a little clip. So we're gonna take the little clip off. And you're gonna just take it and lift it up. Okay, there we go. And voila, a beautiful cheesecake. Let you get a closer look. Nice and smooth. And look at that beautiful graham cracker crust. Now, you know, remember I did make another one, but I haven't made that cheesecake yet, with the chocolate graham cracker crust. So what I'm gonna do to just kind of jazz this one up a little bit, I took a little, say about a 1/4 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips and a couple teaspoons of heavy whipping cream, and melted it in the microwave. And I actually bought myself a nice little bag here. with the tip already built on. I bought maybe 4 of them for $3. So we're gonna just make it a little fancy, just make some little drizzles. You can do chocolate, you can do strawberry, you can do caramel, you can do anything you want. You don't have to put anything on it. I just like to be a little fancy. So I'm just gonna do just some simple little circles around. You can put strawberry sauce on it, cherry sauce, whatever your favorite thing is. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's my design. So also, you can add more if you want. I actually also chopped up some pecans. Let's bring a few pecans on top. So you can put whatever your favorite topping is. We love pecans. And like I said, you could easily put caramel with some pecans. You have like a turtle cheesecake, especially use the chocolate graham crackers. So now let's just take a slice. Let's just cut it. Okay. Take me one nice slice. Nice firm slice. I kind of rushed it because I was just so excited for you all to get to taste this wonderful cheesecake. So it's been in the refrigerator about 4 hours. Okay, so you can actually see it. Got the little drizzle. Just have all of that on there. And I forgot to get myself a fork. So let's step over to my drawer. Grab a nice fork. Oh, and one other thing that I am missing is some whipped cream. I love a good dollop of whipped cream. So you just do like that. And we can just sit that wonderful beautiful cheesecake right there. And as usual, I have to take a taste. So let's spread this nice whipped cream. You see it's nice and firm, but creamy. And let's take a taste. Bon appetit. Perfect texture. The graham cracker crust is perfect. So when you do the graham cracker crust, always make sure that it's not too thin because you want a nice crust on your bottom. So if you feel like you need a little bit more graham cracker, add a little bit more in there because you're doing a nice crust. So if you do more graham cracker, you might add just another little teaspoon of butter, half a teaspoon of butter or so. So this is Chef John. We have done a beautiful, great cheesecake. Cheesecake does take a while to cook. It's actually a simple recipe, but it takes about 4 hours. So think about it. I had to take my eggs and my cream cheese out early and my sour cream, take it out early, maybe at least a couple hours early to get room temperature. And then we had to take the eggs out, let all that sit out before you even start. So then once you get your cheesecake together, then you're gonna cook it for 1 hour. And let it rest in the oven for 1 hour, and let it rest on the counter for at least another 30-45 minutes, and then you're gonna put it in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours. So a cheesecake can take all day, but it's worth every bite. Let me just take one more bite. So until next time, I'll be doing another dessert. I don't know what yet. We're gonna surprise you. Let's see what you asked for at the Dalton Library. But until next time, it's Chef John. Bon appetit. Have a great one. As I always say, I have to take a piece to Miss Withers. Okay, you guys, until next month or in 2 weeks, I'll be doing another video for you guys.